Resident Evil. What can I say about Resident Evil? Definitely one of the biggest and most popular and one of the greatest game franchises of all time. And definitely one of my favorites because, I just love it. I love it to death. But, you know what? I got one problem about Resident Evil these days. It's not what it was back then. Okay, now don't get me wrong. I loved Resident Evil 4. I mean, it was definitely one of my favorite games too. But I got one big problem about the new ones. The Resident Evil 6 that just came out. It had poorly sales. The audience didn't really. They thought it was too action, and I did too. I'm sorry if you're a big fan of Resident Evil 6. I'm sorry, but this is my opinion. And look, I'm not gonna go on. I can't do a better rant than Alpha Omega Sin himself, because he does rants of Resident Evil as well, but this is my take. This is my rant too. This is my rant. See, I love Resident Evil to death. I have Resident Evil on PS1, PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and all that. I love the game. I mean, the first one I saw was Resident Evil 3, and I was blown away by Resident Evil. Then I just went on and found out more about it. I mean, I was just blown away by it. And think about it. It was 1996. Nobody's ever seen a game like that before. A game that looked like a movie and all that. And a game that did a lot of, blew people's minds. It looked like you were actually in the thing. Well, in my opinion, I don't know if everybody else thinks that. Anyway, look, Capcom really needs to step it up. They really need to pay attention to the fan base that fans out there post, including me. They need to pay attention to the fans and say, you know what? They're right. We need to go back to what we do best. What made us an ultimate mega powerhouse. I mean, take Resident Evil Remake on GameCube, for example. That was one of the best Resident Evil games ever. That was my favorite. That's my favorite Resident Evil game. It was so cool. It was the best. It is the greatest remake of any video game you could think of. No remake of video game. No remake of any video game can top Resident Evil Remake. Do something like that, because I hear rumors that they're probably going to remake Resident Evil 2. And if they do something like that. Like, do what you did in the Resident Evil Remake. Do something. Just make it better. But really, like, Capcom needs to, take Dead Rising, for example. Capcom did a very good job with Dead Rising. I love Dead Rising. I mean, look what they did with Dead Rising, okay? They made that game a survival horror game at its best. It truly was definitely about survival, and it was good. There's zombies in it. It was awesome, dude. That's what they need to do at Resident Evil. They need to get rid of the action. I don't care about your problems. If you want to be like all these other game companies out there, be your own game company. Because, Capcom, you need to be your own game company. I mean, look at that new Evil Within game that's coming out. That game looks freaking awesome. Look at that. Take a look at that game. And if that game becomes so popular, if it gets a lot of sales, pay attention to that. And maybe that'll just be a wake-up call for you. Be a wake-up call for Capcom and saying we need to go back to that, and maybe that'll get us more sales. You guys are a multi-million-dollar corporation empire of a video game company. And Resident Evil made you a mega powerhouse. Made you an ultimate warrior. Ultimate warrior. But made you a freaking mega power brother. I'm sorry. It made you a mega power franchise that couldn't be stopped. And if they truly, and like I read an article that they might go back to it. I read an article, I don't know if it's true or not, but they said that they looked at Resident Evil 6 and they saw the sales and they said we need to go back to our roots and we need to make another game and focus it on the freaking genre itself, survival horror. But what really made me mad was when they said that survival horror is not for everyone anymore. I mean, like Alpha Megasin said, look at Amnesia, look at Dead Rising, look at Dead Space, look at all the Metal Survival horror games that have been out already. Take a look at them. They